The following segment is sponsored by Uplift Families. It is so important to try to stay positive even during a pandemic. This is Dr. Paul Jenkins. He's a positivity psychologist. We've got author, speaker. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm thrilled to be here and to spread a little positivity today because it can be kind of scarce in a pandemic.
It really can. And let's talk about that. In a pandemic, how is it shaping our family culture?
You know, it's interesting to see how we react to this thing.
Yeah.
Because I teach my clients all the time that the pandemic is neutral. How we feel about it depends on some psychological processes that are going on in our own mind. And it could always be better, it could always be worse. So let's accept our circumstances and move forward anyway.
Yeah, that's so true, and control what we can. Now, why is it so important to stay positive during a pandemic? And it's difficult.
Let's put this in the context of parenting, because our kids are constantly monitoring and watching what we're doing, how we're reacting to this thing. So if we're having a panic response, guess what our kids are going to be feeling?
Yeah.
A little bit of anxiety. So it's so important to stay positive, not only for ourselves, but because of how we're training and educating our children to react to the circumstances in their lives.
Do you think even the little toddlers are looking at us thinking, okay, I mean, and they're small. Are they that young and they're knowing what we're doing?
Anybody who's got toddlers at home knows that these kids are watching.
Yeah.
In fact, they'll repeat things that you didn't want them to repeat that they heard, right?
This is so true. And it's so important to focus on what we can control and what we can't control. Let's talk about that for a minute.
It's easy to slip into what I call a victim mindset.
Yeah.
And say, well, we can't do this because, and then we blame the pandemic or our circumstances or whatever. A little shift can make all of the difference, and that shift goes to, how can I? Okay, so you think about a birthday party, for example. Your kid's gonna have a birthday this year, whether or not there's a pandemic on.
This is true.
Right? And it's easy to slip into that, oh, I can't because. Ask yourself instead, how can I? And then that shifts the focus back to what you can control.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that you can. Let's accept the things that we can't and then move forward anyway.
Well, and I think that can be in everyday live things and, like, you know, the big things. I think that's important to practice in the small things.
Absolutely.
What do you think as far as showing our emotions to our kids? Because of course we don't want to panic them. Of course we don't want to make them stress even more. But we also want to show that we're human too and that we can overcome things, right?
Right. And positivity is not ignoring the pain or the difficulties. What we want to do is model for our children how we're going to handle that, because we don't control the things that are going on around us.
Yeah.
And so focusing in on that helps us to get back into a mindset that allows us to move forward in a positive way. And it's so powerful because that really is the modeling that our children are going to pick up on.
Sure.
So you don't pretend that you don't feel challenged or that it's difficult or painful.
Right.
You simply show your kids that you're going to take that on. And then that's going to teach them a really important life skill.
And that we can get through it. Okay, if we're having a bad day, really quick, what's one thing we can do, doctor, to help us? You know what, let's try to be positive. Is there anything really quick that you can tell us that would help us get through our day?
You want the quickest brain hack on the planet?
Yes, I do.
For positivity? It's gratitude.
I agree.
And we're used to gratitude. A lot of people have done gratitude journals. Here's the thing that powers it up. Pick a thing that troubles you, something from your hard list, okay? Something that's difficult, challenging, frustrating. The pandemic is a good example.
Yeah.
And find something in that for which you are sincerely grateful. You're asking your mind to go a completely different direction with this.
Yeah.
And what we tell ourselves makes all of the difference, and it affects how we show up in every other aspect of our life.
This is so
find
true.
the gratitude.
I love that, Dr. Jenkins. Thank you so much for joining us. For more information, you can go to upliftfamilies.org if you need any more help. Dr. Jenkins, thank you so much.
Thank you.